Welcome to Dream Body Alchemy, the podcast that fearlessly explores empowering transformations by unlocking the dormant vitality within your DNA, reshaping your mindset and unveiling your true essence, propelling you towards profound healing and expansion. Join your host, Melissa Valentine, as you embark on this journey to rewrite your story, one of activation, body alchemy, and the unapologetic embodiment of your boldest self.
I want to talk about finding the balance between the masculine and feminine and allowing ourselves to step more into the feminine so that we can find more ease and flow in our life, so that we can tap into that vitality, the health, the enjoyment of being a woman. There's been a lot of people, I think, who maybe see femininity as a weakness, and I want to talk about how it is actually a strength, and how a lot of women, especially clients that come to me, tend to lean on their masculine traits, and that can be necessary when you are successful and driven and ambitious and depending on the field that you guys are in. But I also want to add in that there is so much that can be gained by tapping into a more feminine energy. There is a strength, there is a passion, there is an energy that is magnetic, where you begin to attract your wealth, health, connections, and you feel more embodied. So it's not shaming one in place of the other. It is finding that balance and being able to heal both of them. Now, I am not an expert in masculine and feminine energy. I am speaking from a place of experience and what I have seen happen in my life and the changes that I've experienced and just how I feel as a whole. And I'll just say I feel more whole. So what is masculine versus feminine energy? I would say the feminine is more about being. It's about being in your body. It's about embodiment, finding the flow in life, leaning back, receiving, allowing yourself to relax, to rest. It's also about passion and desire and just tapping into what you really want. And when I speak on desire, I'm not speaking to the low energy frequency of desire where it's coming from a place of lack, because energetically, that is where we have cravings, and we are not desiring from a higher frequency of power and confidence and high vibration. Feminine is all about that desire. It's about tapping into your sensuality. It's about embracing your uniqueness, but also in the same breath, embracing your knowing, your intuition, trusting yourself. When it comes to having power, it's a powerful energy when you embrace it versus thinking of femininity as being docile and being weaker. It's about understanding your power, understanding your desire, and attracting more and going after what you want that feels inspired, that feels good. The masculine is going to be more about the doing, where the feminine is the being, the masculine is the doing. The masculine is the boundaries. It's about discipline. It is about logical thinking, where the feminine is more about the body and embodying it. It's more a sense where the masculine is more mental. The masculine is about planning, and it's about leaning into things. So if we wanted to have an example of like a visualization, we can take a river where the water, the flowing, the going with the flow, the flexibility, the imagination, the vision needs to be held by a strong riverbed. And this is the boundary, this is the structure. And so you do need to have a healthy masculine, again, where we have these masculine traits that are coming from a healthy place of confidence. So we have the healthy masculine with the boundaries and the discipline so that the feminine can flow and be and trust and relax. You want to have a healthy balance of both, because if you don't have strong boundaries, if you don't have the discipline, if you don't have the logic to back up the feminine qualities, then the feminine is not safe enough to express herself. And I'm saying this as one person, one vessel who has both of these energies balanced within them. And it doesn't have to be balanced at every moment, but just balanced in your life, when you can step more into your feminine and you can step more into your masculine, but you're doing it intentionally and with power and with confidence. Another example could be planning a vacation. So there's the planning part, there's the logistics, there's the getting from point A to point B. And then there's the part of the vacation where you're imagining, you're allowing yourself to daydream. You're losing yourself in the feelings and the anticipation and the possibilities of the vacation. It takes both pieces to make a harmonious trip. And you could say that about your life. You can say that about your day. You want to make sure that you are finding that balance for yourself. And both of these energies can be very powerful, but they can also be weak and they can be wounded. And so we want to make sure that we understand the polarity of both of these two pieces dancing together within each of us. What I find is that a lot of women tend to be in their masculine, and a lot of times it can be the wounded masculine. And it does not allow them to lean back. It doesn't allow them to receive. It doesn't allow them to find that flow, that playfulness in their life. It doesn't allow them to tap into their unique expression and that creativity in downloading all of the magic that can happen in life if you are too in this masculine frame. So what are some things that you can do? Now, these are simple, more tangible things that you can begin to do right now to tap into your feminine. You can simply get more into your body. So just when you're walking, allowing your body to soften. This is something that I see when I go to the gym, and I'm so aware of it, is that when you're in the feminine, you can drop down into your hips and you actually move from your hips. There's more of a sway. There's a way you move. I was told that even from a younger age, and I'm saying like high school, that I had a womanly walk. Obviously, I don't remember how I walked, but I was told I have the same walk now, where I can only imagine it's more from the hips. It's slower. And that would be my second point. But allow yourself to move from your hips. Allow yourself to be in your body, versus sometimes I can see, and I'm noticing this for women specifically, and I'm thinking about how I'm moving through the world. I can notice women who are more in their masculine because they almost move from their chest. They have this very forward energy where you know exactly where they're going and they're just getting there, right? Where a feminine movement is a little more like, I'm getting there when I get there. It's getting into the body. It's enjoying being in your body. It is not so much in a hurry. Not only can I see the energy, I can feel the energy off of certain people, certain women, when they are in their masculine. And I'm going to say it tends to be in the gym, and I'm not judging. I just notice inside. I chuckle a little bit because I'm like, oh, I notice this person is more in their masculine, because it's something that I am attuned to. The second point that you can do is you can slow down. Masculine tends to be very driven. I don't want to say this is male versus female. This is not a man versus a woman thing. This is more the energy. Obviously, I'm speaking more to women and them being able to tap into their femininity, because this tends to be an area that when I'm speaking to women who are coming to me and they're finding that they're out of alignment, whether their body isn't where they want it to be, whether they're feeling this agitation, this boiling over, they feel stress, it's affecting their bodies. Like maybe they're having adrenal fatigue. Maybe they're always feeling stressed. Maybe they're always feeling overwhelmed. Maybe they find that they are leaning on food for comfort because they are very in their heads. They're trying to make things happen. They might be forcing things to happen instead of understanding how to lean back and allowing to attract, but slowing down. And I know I talked about this in my last podcast, but slowing down whatever you're doing in the moment, like whatever you're doing in the moment, being present with it, slowing your movements down. When you're speaking, not feeling like you have to rush, otherwise people are going to lose attention, rushing a conversation, rushing things that you have to do throughout the day, not taking, and this is number 3, space. We want to be able to start to tap into this energy. We want to be able to take more space in our day for little things that bring us joy. Everything doesn't have to be productive. Everything doesn't have to have a goal like that we're trying to strive for. It can be for the pleasure. It can be for the stillness. It can be for just being in the moment, appreciating what's going on outside, the birds that are outside, the cardinals and the blue jays and the hawk. It can be listening to the flag hitting the flagpole, allowing space where even in your schedule where everything isn't back to back, and you just allow that space, because again, it's going to allow you to slow down. You don't have to have every single part of your day completely booked with stuff and doings, but giving yourself space to be. The 4th thing that will allow you to tap into this is tuning into desires, prioritizing what you desire, taking time and just understanding what are the things that make me tick. What do I want to do just for me that isn't for any other reason, but I have a pleasure in doing it. I have a pleasure in thinking about it. Allowing yourself to tap into that passion, that desire, that energy. Some people call this the dark feminine, where you are focusing more on yourself and what you desire. Because women, we can have that very nurturing energy, and there's nothing wrong with it unless it's not balanced. Yes, nurture and desire, they're both feminine, but what I've come to understand is one is more light and one is more dark. And so even with the feminine type energy, that passion, that desire, that receiving, allowing yourself to receive the things that you desire, that you deserve, is again a very feminine quality to focus in on that. The desire for things that you want for you, not just the purpose, not just the outside goal of you, not just to create something for the recognition of being in your purpose, but the desire just because it feels good. And I thought it was interesting, and so I wanted to bring this up, that in our cycles, and how I perceive this is that we have these times in our cycle where we are more connected to and can connect easier to intentionally to each energy. So if you think of our cycle and you think of the feminine and the period, when we have our period, it's a time of nurture. It's a time of rest. It's a time of relaxation. It's a time of tapping back into our own needs, our own intimacy, and even our own intuition. So during our period, it's a very heavily feminine energy. And then right after our period, we have the follicular phase, which is a more masculine energy. It is an energy of drive. It's an energy of goals and discipline. It's because we have more testosterone, where we can be more in our doing. Where our period, we're more in our being. Like when we're on our health journey. During our period, we want to focus on less intense endeavors. So stretching, walking, dancing. You can still lift, but maybe not at the same intensity. You go into the follicular, and this is when you can focus on PRs. So your personal best. When you're lifting really heavy, you can focus more on high intensity interval trainings. The testosterone and the estrogen in our bodies allows us to push it more where it will not harm our health. Female hormones, because we're ebbing and flowing, the cortisol in our body and our ability to heal and our body to recover is going to be affected. Our ability to have intensity is going to change week to week, and we want to be able to honor that. And sometimes when we're on our fitness journey, we don't necessarily honor the feminine energies that come along with it. So during that follicular, that week right after your period is a great time to push it more. You might even feel like your hunger is lowered. So you might be more focused. This also incorporates, what are you doing in your work, in your job? What are you focusing on? Your health, your relationships, going out with friends, self-care. All of these things are going to ebb and flow with your cycle. And then you go into ovulation in the first half of the luteal phase. And again, you're coming back into a more feminine type energy. Not saying you have to be feminine, masculine, but these are amazing times to tap into and harmonize with your own hormones. So during the ovulation phase, you are going to feel like connecting. You're going to feel that light energy going after things that you desire. This is a time when, even though we have more energy, we don't necessarily want to be in that masculine of pushing ourselves super hard, because this is a time when our bodies are recovering and building up our hormones. And so a lot of times women will, because they're feeling better, they feel like they have the energy, they'll push themselves really hard, which can be a mistake because it can drain their progesterone. And what's going to happen then is that we want to be building it up during this phase for the second half of our luteal phase, because our second half of the luteal phase is when our hormones are starting to drop. And if we don't allow certain hormones to peak, like progesterone, it can cause us long-term damage, like not allowing our bodies to release the excess estrogen, which progesterone does. So during the ovulation, we also want to be focusing on not stressing ourselves. We want to be focusing on doing the fun, bubbly things and connecting with that passionate, unique, magnetic side of ourselves, even that sensual side of ourselves. And then the last phase is the second half of the luteal, where we might go back into more of a masculine, where we want to do deep work. We want to bring things to completion, where we're more focused, where we're more hermited and getting things done. And even though your energy might not be as high, especially if you haven't been harmonizing and working with your flow and kind of resisting and going against it and trying to be in this more masculine energy, you might feel this more. But you can actually lift heavy and do the cardio and increase your calories, all of those things, because we want to assist our bodies to drain and get rid of those hormones. As you can see, with our hormones and the ebbs and flows, there is a little natural masculine, feminine focus in each of those, that once we become more intuitive and we allow ourselves to get in our body and we accept and acknowledge that feminine part of us, that we will feel more in tune with ourselves and we will become healthier. I have something called the energetic creed, and the energetic creed naturally aligns with our hormones. So in the creed, the C is really, where are you consistently with your energy? So feminine and masculine energy doesn't necessarily have one energetic frequency. When I'm talking about the energetic creed, I'm talking about your overall energy. So whether you're in low energy, where you have emotions and feelings that are lower level, like despair, worry, fear, anger, cravings, pride, or if you have mid-level energies where you are content, or if you have high-level energies where you're courageous and willing and open and you're more abundant, positive. With the energetic creed, there's certain times when you can tap into each of those. So like the R for creed stands for releasing. So it's releasing unresolved negative emotions. Our period is a perfect time to release and let go. The first E in creed is going to be emotions. And this is all about how to process your emotions. And during the luteal phase is a really great time because you're alone, you're hermiting, and it's a really great time to learn how to process your emotions. A lot of women have symptoms of PMS, and so they're getting bombarded with these emotions a lot of the times. So it's a great time to practice releasing and then really processing the emotions as they come up. And then the second E in creed is going to be elevate. So how do you elevate your energy? How do you elevate the frequency? How do you elevate these emotions? That is going to be a great time in your follicular phase when you are already higher energy. And then the last part is discharge. And this is kind of when I was talking about regulating your nervous system, where you're discharging the survival energy, you're discharging the trauma energy. When you have those feelings and that low frequency, that chaotic energy, it's perfect to do that during your ovulation, because during your ovulation is when we're most likely to get sick because our bodies can't handle the cortisol and we're starting to shift gears. So the energetic creed, releasing those emotions, elevating your emotions, increasing your vibration, goes hand in hand with our cycle, as do the feminine and masculine energies. When you begin to understand the body and how to align all of these different things, things begin to feel easy, effortless. Weight loss becomes intuitive because you're naturally just following the cues of the body, where so many of us are stuck in this masculine energy of doing, of discipline, of getting it done, of logical thinking. And sometimes we just need to sit back and become more embodied, become more intuitive, allow ourselves to tap into that instinct, and we'll find our body tells us what we need in each moment. And this is how we become healthy. This is how we become more embodied. We feel more alive. If you are interested in becoming more aligned and tapping into this energy and increasing your frequency and releasing weight with ease, then I am inviting you to download my Aligned Body Breakthrough. It is a completely free gift. It is linked below. And if you liked this video, if you want to see more, please subscribe and please comment below what was your biggest takeaway today. I would love to connect with you. And until next Wednesday, love you guys.